You ever have a round where you just completely can't hit the driver? You can't get it on the face, it's curving all over the place, and you don't have any power on top of that. Well, I have a surefire drill. We're gonna start slow with nice solid contact. Then we're gonna gradually build, getting the ball straighter and straighter, and then finally we're gonna add some swing speed so you start hitting your farthest best drives. Q's gonna read some of the flight scope numbers for me, talk about a lot of the details. Let's go ahead and jump in. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna start out slow and we're gonna gradually build up from there. Every time you hit a couple good shots that are both straight and solid, then you build the speed a little bit. So let's start out with the driver here. We're gonna make some really smooth, easy swings, and we're only gonna hit it about maybe 150 yards, somewhere around in there. That'll be the intent. So here, I'm just gonna try to hit it just barely over the water here. So when we're doing this, you're gonna make a little shorter swing, and I want you to really focus in on when you're starting your downswing, get that weight moving to the left and get this club kind of lagging behind. So my body's opening up, but my club is staying from the inside here. Now the way I'm gonna do this is I'm gonna feel like my right wrist is angled back like this. I don't want my wrist to be flat. I want my right wrist to be angled back, almost like the palm of my hand is facing out kind of behind the golf ball when my hand is in front of my right thigh. So it's gonna look like that. My right elbow is gonna be tucked in. That kind of gets me in a great position to where now the club's lagging behind. Because my wrist isn't toward the sky, it's turned down, the face is squaring up early. And I'm really just kind of locked in here to where I can deliver that club into the ball really nice and square. So let's start out here again. A little easy swing, and I'm gonna try to hit it straight, getting in that position. There we go. A little bit to the right on that one. So that ball sliced just a little tiny bit, but I'm gonna try to keep it at that distance until I get one going dead straight. It was nice and solid. Be nice and smooth to make sure that you make good contact, but I'm gonna keep on working at this distance until I get a dead straight one. So how far, Q, did that one go in the air?
So that one went 208 in the air, and the club head speed was about 90 miles per hour.
Okay, so I took a nice easy swing, 90 miles an hour. I'm gonna keep it at that 200 range. The only difference is here, just like if you're having a bad round, maybe that ball sliced a little bit, I'm gonna adjust to get that ball flying straight. And here's how I'm gonna do that. When I'm slicing, I'm coming in and the face is just too open. I'm not releasing the club enough. I want you to go ahead and release the club, pause here when the club is parallel with the ground in the follow through, and I want that face releasing a little bit more. If I slice, the face is too much this way. If I hook, the face is too much that way. So for that one, I felt like I'm about here. I'm gonna feel like I turn it on over a little bit more. This face is releasing a little bit more to get that ball to draw a little bit. So I'm gonna make another swing, nice and easy. Get the face to turn on over a little bit more as I come through the shot, and that should straighten it out. Let's give it a whirl. There we go, dead straight. On a string, the ball didn't curve at all. Basically right toward my target, and I think it was about the 200 yards. Is it similar to that?
Yep, so it was 185 total distance. That one went a little bit lower, but club head speed was about the same, 90.3 miles per hour.
Okay, so I got a nice straight one there. I'm ready to build a little bit of speed onto it. So I'm gonna go a little bit faster on this one. And again, I'm gonna try to have the same feeling of me rolling the face over a little bit more to straighten this shot out. Let's give this one a try. All right, so on that one, again, another little bit of a slice. These are shots that you're gonna be hitting here, so I'm gonna feel like I release the face a little bit more. I turn it on over. Now, that's a great example of what's really gonna happen. You're not gonna get up in this drill and start just hitting lasers down the middle of the fairway if you're having a bad day. You're gonna do what I did in the example there. You're gonna start slicing some, and then maybe on the next one, you turn it over a little bit more, and you actually begin to overhook it. It's gonna feel a little wild here at first. You have to find that middle zone. So if I start to hook one, so I do the same thing, I swing a little bit faster, and all of a sudden I duck hook one to the left. That's me really rolling the hands way too fast, and now the face is getting too turned over this way. I've overdone the compensation that I talked about earlier. So what we're trying to feel here is what all great players do through impact. They all control the club face very well coming through impact. The first key to that is getting in this position to where now the club's lagging behind, your body's opening up, I'm in a spot where I can hit good shots. The second thing is feeling the momentum of the club, releasing more or releasing less, to get that ball straighter. One misconception that people have, and what I don't want you to do, is I don't want you to steer the club, to feel like you're using your hands and arms to push the club in this position or more in this position to straighten it out or to get it to draw more or less. I want you to change the momentum of the club head. The momentum of how much that club head wants to turn over and release, or the momentum of how that club head wants to stay a little bit more square. You shouldn't feel like you're manipulating it all. You should feel like you're just letting the club turn over more or letting the club stay a little bit more open. So let's go ahead and give another one a whirl here, and I'm gonna swing a little bit faster. Now here's the key. So we've worked on the tempo, we've gotten a good position to hit it solid. Then we've worked on straightening the ball out and started to add a little bit more speed. Now we're hitting some straight shots, but they're just not going very far. How do I really crank up the speed to where I'm hitting some really good solid long ones? The big key here now is turning more and more. So I can only put speed into the club right here at the handle. The farther I can make this handle move, the more power, the more speed I'm going to be able to have. So if I'm making these little short swings, handle's only going back to here, I've only got from here to there to accelerate this club, this very short amount of time. As I get longer and longer, now I have more space and more time to accelerate this handle and get more club head speed. Here's the key to that. I want you to think about the back, if there's a belt loop in the back of your pants. When you're at the top of the swing, I want that belt loop facing the target. That can be a little scary, especially if you've been hitting the driver wild. That's why we want to slow it down first, get it going straight. But after you get a little straighter, I want you to feel like you're really rotating. Let this left leg loosen up. Let the back of your pants be facing the target. Let your shoulders turn all the way away from to where your back of your left shoulder is pointing the ball. Now I'm really loaded up here and I can get a lot more speed. So let's go ahead and see what that looks like when I really wind up and I give it everything I got. That may be as good as any shot I've ever hit in my life. That was killed. That's as good as I'm going to do there. So I really focused on winding up. I gave it a good aggressive acceleration through the ball, and I felt like I used the momentum of the club to release it and square up the face. So what did that one say, Q?
Club head speed went up to about 121 miles per hour. Total distance 317.
Yeah, so that was really nice and solid. The only way I could get there though is by stair-stepping approach. And I don't go up a stair step, a little bit more distance, a little more speed until I hit it straight first. Now, if you really want to get the most distance out of your drives, the key there is making sure that you really load up. On average, PGA Tour players are going to rotate their shoulders about 120 degrees. So 90 degrees would be at the ball. They're going past 90 degrees with their shoulders. There's really no way to get your true potential unless you really load up your shoulders. Now, one thing that many players go wrong with is they don't get comfortable with that. A lot of players aren't comfortable turning their shoulders that far in the backswing, and they don't really know the secrets to making that work the right way. It feels like you're tight. It feels like you can't turn that much. Well, in the power turn, I go over some of the keys to making this very easy to get that big turn. So that no matter what your flexibility is, you can be that player like the PGA Tour guys that gets a ton of rotation, it feels easy, and all of a sudden you're hitting your drives 20 or 30 yards farther. I'm going to play a preview of one of those videos here in a second. All you need to do is go ahead and click the card that pops up on your screen, or down below the link in the description. You can click there. It's going to give you instant access to that video and help you to start cranking those drives. Let's go and get started. So the instruction out there today is killing you of your power. The things that they're telling you to do can make you hit it shorter, and worse than that, not even any more consistent. I'm going to go over some of the real secrets to powerful, consistent golf in this video. Let's go and get started. So here's some of the keys into making that happen. If you want to incorporate this in your swing, let me break it down exactly what you should do. Number one, let's focus on the belt buckle. This is another big misconception. I want to keep that belt buckle facing the ball so I can really stretch out my midsection and really get loaded up. I'm not a big fan of that. That's really going to kill your distance. In your backswing, I want to feel like that belt buckle rotates to the right and you really let your hips and legs be loose. Notice how my legs are moving here. I'm not trying to keep those rigid and tight, or I'm really just taking all the speed out of my swing. All right, so on that one, I really felt like I let my belt buckle rotate back. And a good key to this is feel like your knees are loose. Feel like when you make your backswing. Piece number two, let's go ahead and rotate our shoulders. When I let my lower body rotate, my upper body can rotate a lot better also. So if I let my hips move, my shoulders will move more. So here, once I've got my hips working well, I'm gonna add to that my shoulders making a big rotation. On average, on the PGA Tour, players are getting about 120 degrees of shoulder rotation. I don't see hardly anybody getting less than 90 degrees. So it starts with the hips, knees nice and loose, allow the belt buckle to rotate, and then from there, so those are two really big keys. But here's the truth. There's one thing, and if you don't do this correctly, nothing else is gonna work.